Hello and welcome. My name is Bashir Fadl. I'd like to welcome you to Salesforce Admin Training. Today we're going to talk about Salesforce Business Analyst versus Administrator versus Developer. If I walk into the hospital to meet a doctor, well, I'm met with a couple of people. First, most likely I'm going to meet with a nurse, and they are going to ask me certain questions and do certain tests. I might need an x-ray, and I walk in and there's a technician that's doing certain tasks there and checkups, and then finally the doctor comes and takes the reports of the nurse and the technician and tells me what I need to do or what's wrong with me. In reality, there's a lot of shared areas. So there's certain things that a nurse does that a doctor can do. There's certain things that a doctor does that even the technician can do, and then there's certain things that technician does that the doctor could do or a nurse does that the doctor could do as well. So there's certain shared area, but in a perfect environment, such as a hospital, everybody has to focus on their primary area. Similarly, within Salesforce, in a perfect environment, in an ideal environment, we have three key players from an IT perspective, and all of them play a key role: the business analyst, the administrator, and developer. So let's go ahead and start and look into what each one of those groups or team members does. Starting with the Salesforce administrator. Salesforce administrator sets up our Salesforce app or environment. As such, they're the ones who are the experts. They should be the experts in the data model and navigation, things such as classic versus lightning experience, and how we could also get help in training. They're responsible, secondly, for setting up the organization for Salesforce users, such as setting up the company profile, configuring the user interface, setting up activities and calendars, configuring search settings, setting up chatter, enabling mobile access. Next, they're responsible for setting up and managing users. Things such as managing user profiles, creating and managing users, troubleshooting user login issues, understanding Salesforce capabilities, and setting up chatter-free users and invites. Next is security and data access. Things such as restricting logins, determining object access, setting up record access, managing record access with a role hierarchy, dealing with record access exceptions, control access to events, and managing field level securities. Next is customization of objects and fields, such as administering standard fields, creating new custom fields, creating selection fields such as pick lists and lookups, creating formula fields, working with page layouts, working with record types and business processes, maintaining data quality. Next is managing data, such as importing new records using Import Wizard, updating existing records with the data loader, keeping records up to date with data.com, mass transfer records between users, backup data with a weekly export, and mass delete of records. Next, reports and dashboards. A Salesforce administrator runs and modifies reports. They create new reports with Report Builder, filter reports, summarize report data with formulas and visual summaries, print, export, and email reports, and also build dashboards. Next, they're also responsible for automation, such as email templates or setting up workflow rules and process builders and automating leads and cases. Finally, managing the support process. For example, automating the support process, understanding the Salesforce console, enable collaboration in the Service Cloud, analyzing support data with reports and dashboards. So this is overall the primary area the Salesforce administrators oversee. Next is our Salesforce Developer. As a corporation, our company has grown that now we need our in-house applications being built. We need to develop our own solutions. We need someone that knows development languages such as Epics, is acquainted with the user interface and development environment of Visual Force, Lightning, JavaScripting, to interact with other applications and systems and data sources, knows APIs and web services. That's where the Salesforce developer comes in. It's someone that has that development, understanding, and expertise, probably with an object-oriented language development such as Java or C# background. And in the Salesforce environment knows things such as Apex, who could come in, for example, build integrations between Salesforce and external applications using REST or SOAP or APIs and single sign-on, who could migrate changes from development to test production environments, someone that has the ability to debug and resolve technical issues and troubleshoot error logs. From a development perspective, they're accountable for Salesforce technical delivery, the build, system testing, handover, and coordination, technical documentation, and even deployment activities. At the end of the day, they're delivering Salesforce solutions on Salesforce Cloud, Service Cloud, Marketing Cloud possibly, Salesforce communities, and Force.com platforms with their expertise as Salesforce developers. Which leads us to Salesforce Business Analyst, the person who kind of builds that communication between the business side and the developer or the administrator. A business analyst is someone that has Salesforce experience with a mixture of business analysis and data analysis because it's all in the data. And probably that's why they need to speak languages or be able to be proficient in languages such as SQL, structured query language, and possibly Python as well. The business analyst on a daily basis translates the business goals and objectives into strategic business capabilities. They benchmark current and future processes against best industry practices. They also help develop a roadmap of projects and initiatives for enablement of new capabilities. A big part of what they do is engage in efforts to establish scope and business case for new programs and initiatives. They plan and manage user acceptance testing activities, help provide the methodology standards and tools for efficient and effective process optimization, and importantly, identify opportunities to innovate. In our journey into Salesforce from an IT perspective, as a business analyst, as a developer, administrator, there are certain terms that we're going to run through, and we kind of need to make sure we understand what each one means. App, starting with it, is short for application. A collection of components such as tabs, reports, dashboards, and visual force pages that address specific business needs. The next word is addition. One of several bundles of Salesforce products and services, each geared toward a different set of business needs. Third one is object. A definition of a specific type of information that we can store in Salesforce. For example, the case object lets us store information about customer inquiries. Next is organization, which refers to a deployment of Salesforce that has a defined set of licensed users. Next is record. Record can be defined as a collection of fields that store information about a specific item of a specific type. Release is the next one, and refers to Salesforce releases new products and features almost about three times a year. And we identify releases from our perspective quarterly. So usually, kind of in the documentation, you'll see Salesforce references to winter, spring, and summer, along with a calendar year. So it would be winter of 2020. Next is Salesforce, which is the name of the Salesforce Cloud Computing CRM service and the company name. So what then is a Salesforce application? Salesforce includes pre-built applications or apps for customer relation management, CRM, ranging from Salesforce automation to partner relationship management, marketing, and customer service. Force.com platform, what is that? The Force.com platform is the first platform as a service, and as such, that's known as a PaaS, capital P, AA, capital S, platform as a service. which allows developers, and that's where developers can create and deliver any kind of business application entirely on demand and without software. Next is App Exchange. App Exchange is a marketplace featuring hundreds of cloud applications created by Salesforce customers, developers, and partners. And next is Salesforce.com community, which Salesforce provides training, support, and consulting events, best practices, and discussion boards to help us be successful. And the link to that is salesforce.com/community. We've referred to PaaS, Platform as a Service. Another one is SaaS, Software as a Service. And that refers to software delivered not by traditional means, such as on a disk, but in the cloud as a service. There's nothing to download and install, and updates are automatic. As we will see, there's different editions of Salesforce. The Professional Edition, the Enterprise Edition, the Unlimited Edition, and the Developers Edition. Why are those very important? Suppose that I'm flying out and I need a ride to the airport, so I'm calling a Lyft or Uber, and it's just myself. Well, I have a lot of options. I can take a smaller car, I could share a ride, I could go with a larger car. Suppose that I'm going with a family with 5 or 6 or 7 family members. Well, in that case, chances are I cannot take a smaller car. I'd have to take a larger car, an SUV or a luxury car. Similarly, as a developer, as an administrator, there are certain features that are in enterprise that are not in professional, that are in unlimited, that are not in professional. So those are the kind of things that we're looking for. Do I need to do more customization? Can I develop this? And that's why it's important to know what edition of Salesforce that I have in the enterprise where I'm working. As we realize that there's different editions within Salesforce, and each one has its own capabilities and possibly restrictions, such as a maximum field length or maximum number of customized objects. And we've picked the right one, or at least know what we have in our enterprise so that we could build and administer around it. There's the second piece that we also have to deal with, and that is the setup of our own environment. So there are certain things in addition to the edition, such as the web browsers that we're going to be using, the language setup, the currency setup, all that are environment-related information that as administrators especially, we're responsible to monitor and look over. And so hopefully now by the end of this session, we have a better idea of what a business analyst does, what does an administrator do, what a developer does within Salesforce, have a very high level of what a Salesforce environment is that we're going to be dealing with. Again, my name is Bashir Fadl, and thank you for joining us with this session. Hope to see you in the next one. Good luck.